Hi everyone, how are you? Well, geography class now. And well, last geography class, we talked about this list over here. And I don't know if you did it already. If you didn't, it's important to do because it helps you to remind yourself that there are some things that you can do by yourself to help your parents to take care of your house, to look after your house. There are some simple duties that you can do it every day, okay? Because of that, I told you to use your pencil here, not a pen, okay? Because you can erase it if you need so. It's to use every day, and then every day when you make your bed, you put a tick here. When you water the plants, you put a tick here, and then you can follow if you were doing everything that you need to do or not. It's a simple way to remind yourself things that you were able to do by yourself to look after your house. But in that classroom, the geography classroom for today, we are going to be talking about types of home, okay? It's new vocabulary, and maybe this vocabulary can be a bit too much because there are a lot of new words, and maybe it can be a bit confused, but no worries because it's the first time that you are learning these new words, and there's no problem if you can't remember all of them by the end of this class. The main important thing that you have to do by the end of this class is to recognize what is your type of home. If you live in an apartment, or if you live in a bungalow, or if you live in a flat or a house, that's the main idea of this class. We are going to go over the type of house, but it's not important for this first class to know all of these names and all of the new vocabulary, because maybe it can be a bit too much. It's important just to realize what is your type of home, where do you live, and if you live in an apartment, how can you model it. And because at the second video I will be explaining it later, we will model our type of house. In my case, I will model my apartment because I live in an apartment, and I will do it in my second video with you. But pay attention what type of home or what type of house do you live in, okay? But as I told you, a house, well, I told you it last class, a home gives us a shelter. You know, our home protects us from the weather, from any animal that can come. Well, our house is where we store our food, our clothes. It's where the toys are, and then you can play. It's a safe place to stay, and that's the main reason for having a house. And not only humans have a house, other animals have it as well. And I will show you now a video that maybe you know this video because I sent the same video last class. And the name of this video is Everyone Needs a Home, not only us. Then pay attention the types of houses, of home that appear here this video, and you can see other animals having and making their home, okay, to protect them. Look, the birds and the bees making their homes in the tree.
There's a home or two, the habitat for one or a few. Everyone needs a home, in a group or all alone. Everyone needs a place they can call their space. Fish are making.
Okay, then you can keep watching this video about different types of home. But now I will be sharing with you a PowerPoint, a slide with these different types of home and all of this new vocabulary. As I told you, you don't need to know all of them now at this class because it's too much. But I will talk about them and explain you a bit better what they are, okay? Types of home. Caravan. Okay, it's a type of home that you can live in and then you can move to other places. A castle, it's huge and usually there are a lot of people living at this castle. A cottage, well, this is a type of home that it's small, okay, and it's usually modest, what means that everything that has inside of this home, it's not really expensive. These are detached house. Detached house. It's a type of home that it's big, as you can see here. This one is a farmhouse. Well, maybe you do and maybe you have a farmhouse, okay? It's a house that is in the farm. It's usually big, yeah. At the same space here around the house, usually there are animals. Flats. Flats are individuals' residence. Well, let me just explain you better. The difference between a flat and an apartment. Flats are like this. There are one entrance, but they are individual residences, which means there are no swimming pool, there are no any park inside of the flat, or there are no recreative area. But in an apartment, I think doesn't have here the, yes, in an apartment usually we have this big area that where you can go outside and play with other friends, or you can, sometimes there are a swimming pool, there's a swimming pool, or sometimes 2, 3. But maybe you live in an apartment, or for example, I live in an apartment that are one big building with that you need to get the lift for go in, go up, and then you go to your door, and that's your house. And flats, as you can see, they are much simple than the apartment. Okay, the lighthouse. The lighthouse is used. It's like a traffic sign when you have like red, yellow, and green at the traffic jam. Yes, the same but in the sea. And that's the same detached house. This word it's a bit difficult. It's the same, but as I told you here, it's one big house, and here it's a house that it's shared one side of the wall with another house. And a tent, well, we use it when we go camping. And this one as well, as you can see, the two sides are with a shared wall. For example, this is one house, and that's another one, and that's another one, and they are sharing their wall. And the bungalow as well, which a type of home that it's small as well, a windmill, and that's it. Well, as I told you guys, there are a lot of new words, and maybe it can be a bit confusing to you now, and there's no problem. But the main idea is, as I told you, to can recognize what type of home do you live in. And as I told you, I live in an apartment, and I will model my apartment, not inside my apartment, but just in the building, using, as I told you, the plan that I sent to your parents. You will need a shoebox and other materials to use to model where do you live in. If it's an apartment, you are going to model an apartment. Or if it's a house, or if you want to make your farmhouse, for example, you can do it. But using a shoebox to model it. Okay, you can use different types of papers or Play-Doh or anything that you have at home to do it. At the second video, I will be sharing with you how I will do it. And well, what you need now is just pick up all of these materials, and let's get started with the second video, and let's do it together.